How did I have 19 dogs and 3 kids and horses and all of the things? Did you think that I was out there every day doing individual fulfillment with all of my dogs, playing tug with the RBECs, doing scent games and herding drills with the LBEs? No, I was not. I was not doing that. And yet, still had 19 good dogs. Yes, today on the podcast, we're talking about time. Like how there is never enough of it. Yes, that's right. If you've ever gotten to the end of the day and thought, oh gosh, I didn't get around to doing blank with my dog, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it.
Tracy, it's Heather and Geordie. I think, as you know, when I joined the Fearless Framework, I was ready to rehome him because life was just full of frustration, anger and tears. We had no connection. He preferred his own company. Walks were a nightmare with pulling, reactivity to dogs and anything that moved. But here we are a few months later, and I love this dog. We're still on our journey, I know, but it has become enjoyable again. So what changed? I did. You changed me. You opened my mind to really understand and see Geordie. You removed the pressure around training and time constraints. And I think you reminded me of the importance of simply being with our dogs. And you've shown me what it means to be a leader that he can rely on. The importance of understanding life through his eyes, providing opportunities, I think, so that his fulfillment is meaningful and rewarding to him. And yay, I get to be a part of it. So I can't believe that I now share this fabulous partnership with him and that our time together has become magical, be it just hanging about at home or on our nature walks. So Tracy, you are amazing. And because of you, I now get to share my life with this incredible dog. I really want you to know that I appreciate your generosity of time and insight that you give to your students in this wonderful community, the Fearless Framework.
Well, hello, my beautiful friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. So glad you are here. Special thanks to Heather for her incredibly kind words. It has truly been an honor to walk that journey with her. It has been magical and so inspiring. So thank you so much. Listen, if you are someone who might be interested in doing something a little bit different, not gonna lie, I often say if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to get a little weird with me. But do something a little bit different than traditional training. Go beyond obedience. I encourage you to check out the Fearless Framework. It's an incredible program. It's constantly evolving. It's an incredible community. We do monthly Zoom talks with video analysis, and we want you there. So how do you do that? Check it out at beyondobedience.ca/fearless. And let's see if it's the right fit for you and your dog. All right. Speaking of incredible communities, I was over hanging out in the Living Beyond Obedience community, and Paisley had put up a little post there that I thought was a great question, but she asked, what is the hardest part about balancing your dog's needs with being a responsible adult? And I laughed at it. I thought people were going to be like, who says I'm responsible? Ha ha ha. But we had some comments there that were kind of like, okay, maybe we should talk about that. Donna mentioned that she wanted to do more like obstacle courses with her dog, but she doesn't have the time. Melissa said, I'd rather be playing with my dogs than doing chores, but life happens. And then Jamie said that life pressures, work from home, summer break, the heat, it all makes walks tough. I do what I can, and then I have to let the rest go. And then Laurel said one of her challenges was trying to meet the different fulfillment needs for 3 dogs. Wondered how I did it when I had 19 dogs, and perhaps this was a podcast idea. And I said, whoa, Challenge accepted, Laurel. And here we are. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, my friends, for me to jump on and be like, all right, I'll talk about this stuff. But I did. I started thinking about it because the main theme that came up was time. Oh, finding the time. We all have this, this guilt and shame around time and not spending enough time. And am I spending enough time? And it oddly enough reminded me of a speech that I did many, many years ago. If you didn't know this about me, I like public speaking. I used to do speech competitions for Toastmasters. In particular, I like to do the humorous speeches. I don't know if you could tell that about me, but many years ago, I wrote a speech, and it was entitled The Breakup, and it did very well. I won, so it was it was a good speech. But I'll give you the long. I'll link it in the show notes if you want to see the speech. It is a 100% true story about back in a day where I had 3 young kids. I had my brick and mortar Beyond Obedience business. So I was running daycare, boarding, grooming, training, socialization, pack walks. Also had horses and goats and a pig and cats and all of the things. And life got a little complicated for me. And so my doctor decided that I should go and talk to a stress management counselor. That man's name was Michael. The long and the short, spoiler alert for the, if you do want to see the video, but spoiler alert, Michael tried to break up with me. And this is the speech about how my stress management counselor tried to break up with me. What does that have to do with anything? Well, one of the things one of the lines from the speech was this idea that Michael had suggested to me one week that the homework that I had was that I was to sit down every day at 10 to 4 and have a cup of tea. And the timing of the tea was very hard for me because it was right before my kids got home, and I'd have to get my kids off the bus, and then I had to do customer checkout, and then I had to make dinner and the homework and the bath and the brushing teeth and getting kids to bed and all of that stuff. And so I didn't want to sit down at that time. And he said, Tracy, you have to try to sit down and just have a cup of tea, but don't just have the cup of tea, really enjoy the tea, the warmth of the cup, the smell of the tea, be one with the tea. And that line, be one with the tea, has sort of stuck with me and many others for that matter. But I wanted to bring it up again and talk a little bit more about this idea, because that concept of just having a cup of tea for me was too much. It was like, for me, it felt like one more thing that was on my damn to-do list. And I was like, I just finished telling you I have a to-do list longer than I have hours in the day, and you want me to add one more thing to my to-do list. And that was when he was like, maybe this relationship isn't working for the two of us. I laugh about it, but honestly, it still kind of rubs me. Like, I'm like, how is it that I managed to stress out my stress management counselor? That's neither here nor there. That was in the past and we're over it now. Are we though? Maybe not. The point is that there's something about the psychology of the more, like to do more things, especially when we don't feel like there isn't any more there, right? When we're walking through life feeling like there isn't any more to give, I couldn't possibly give any more. It really does affect us. How many people have heard, oh, your dog just needs more exercise? And you're like, when do I do that? Or your dog just needs more enrichment. That actually can activate stress in our brain, and it starts to feel like an obligation and not a choice. We start to feel a little bit of resentment to the fact that now I have to do more. And that gets hard for us, right? And that leads us usually into, for some of us, me included, like procrastination or avoidance. right? Because procrastination is often an emotional response to the overwhelm of more. The idea of more can trigger us to actually shut down. And this is actually from Psychology Today. I didn't just make that up. Um, especially when we feel like we're already stretched too thin. So, what happens when we feel that way? Well, from what I see, and from like talking to many, many clients, both when I used to do in person and now even my online clients, I will say a good portion of people come to the consult, and I usually ask the question like, hey, all right, like what's going on? And immediately people will give me, well, I know I should be doing blank, or I know I haven't done enough of blank, right? It like we come into the consult with the shame first thinking, like I should be probably walking the dog more, or I should be probably doing more enrichment, or I should probably socialize the dog more. And it's just this overwhelming feeling of like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm just not doing it, and I don't have enough. And hey, let me be the first one to tell you, friend, if this is you, there's no shame here. I am not shaming you, because life is lifey. You are literally talking to the girl who stressed out her stress management counselor. Like, no shame here, my friend. And your dog doesn't need you to be more or do more. That's good. I'm going to release this for you. You're not behind. You don't need to do more. Okay. There you go. You're welcome. End of podcast. No. I just want to let you know that, because Laurel's right by asking, how did I do it? How did I do it with 19 just good dogs? How did I have 19 dogs and 3 kids and horses and all of the things? Did you think that I was out there every day doing individual fulfillment with all of my dogs, playing tug with the RBECs, doing scent games and herding drills with the LBEs? No, I was not. I was not doing that. And yet, still had 19 good dogs. So I'm here to like release you from this. If you ever have like, oh, I should be doing more. I know I should be doing more obedience. I know I should be doing more training. No. Let's let that go right now. Because your dog doesn't need your perfection. They just need presence. Listen, not presents like gifts. It said that and I was like, that sounds like, I'm like, they just need gifts. Buy them off buy them with stuff. They need more chew toys. No, right? They just need you to be more present, because we all have the same 24 hours in the day, my friend. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. It's just how you spend those 24 hours. That's it. That doesn't mean that you have to go walk them 5K more. It doesn't mean that you have to do more exercise or have them meet more dogs. You don't have to do all those things. Listen, I want you to consider the fact too that it is more about what you do with that time. For example, a 10-minute game of tug with an RBEC or the Fearless Explorer dog means more to them than a 2-hour walk. Getting to use their mouth, getting them to do the things that they love will be more fulfilling than a 2-hour walk. Doesn't mean they still wouldn't like a walk. I'm just saying, if you only had 10 minutes in the day, maybe play tug. Do that. A challenging scent game with a basset hound means more to them than going to the dog park. And I will say this, make it challenging. Like, don't do lame scent games with basset hounds. Like, do something challenging. Like, hide that smell. You know what I'm saying? But you can do little, small, intentional things that mean way more than a 45-minute walk. if you don't have 45 minutes. And I want to remind you right here and now, if you have a pen and a paper, I want you to write this down, because I swear they miss this all the time. Just being is doing. Just being there is doing. Just being present. Bringing yourself out of your head, out of your to-do list, out of, all of that, and coming back into this moment and actually being present with the dog is doing something. It's those little moments of connection all throughout the day that matter. It really does matter. And those add up, right? I don't want fulfillment to be another thing on your to-do list. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh man, now I have to go grocery shopping. I have to pick up the kids. I also have to do fulfillment. Like, I don't want it to be that. It's not a checklist item. It's just about being present and making yourself relevant in their world. That's all that is. I talk about this a lot with puppies, because you see it all the time with puppies, and most people will say to me, unless you get a really adventurous puppy, but most people will say to me, oh my gosh, my puppy is so good. Like, I don't even need a leash. This puppy just follows me everywhere, and they're so great. And then usually, like 4 or 5, 6 weeks later, or whatever, month later, 2 months later, I get the phone call. It's like, this puppy is running off all over the place and not paying attention. Now, some of that is just natural curiosity that increases with confidence. Sure. But I also believe in my heart of hearts that a lot of it has to do with the fact that the humans start to check out. When we first get a puppy, we're like super invested in the puppy. Why? Because puppy breath draws you into their sweet little faces, and you can't help it. And you're just like, oh, I just want to be like everywhere that you are. And so when we first get the puppy, like, everything's about the puppy. Oh, and people want to see the puppy, and they're showing the puppy. You're like, this is my puppy. And you're like, puppy is great. And then you have to go out with the puppy and watch the puppy, because you have to really watch them, because you want to make sure that they've gone pee and poop, because you're housebreaking them. You're constantly like, has anyone let the puppy out? And you're always about the puppy. And then the puppy gets housebroken, and things get a little bit easier. So you don't have to be now you can just let them out. You don't have to necessarily pay attention to them. And now when you're, when you first start going out for a walk and your puppy's grabbing everything, you have to pay attention. You have to be like, what is in your mouth? What do you got there? What's going on? But as your puppy gets older and older, and that starts to decrease, we start to check out, because we don't have to be that on it. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is that change in our intention, our focus of being with the puppy, I think also changes them, because when they're puppies, they're finding stuff, they're discovering the world, they're picking up things they're not supposed to, and we're like, oh, don't pick up that, and you're like, oh, what do you have in your mouth, and you're constantly like, you're with them. And as that starts to diminish, our puppy is still asking questions, and as the dog becomes an adolescent, they're still asking questions like, look what I found. Look, like, we have no concept of how dogs perceive the world through their incredible nose. We can only imagine. But to them, they're smelling things 17 blocks away. They know what's over there. Like, they can tell something that's happened 2 days ago. Someone dropped a French fry here 3 weeks ago. Like, they know things that we don't know. And they're constantly saying, like, do you smell it? Like, they don't know that we can't smell stuff. When they first move into our life, a dog only knows how to be a dog. They're not furry little people. They only know how to be a dog. They expect us to be dogs. They don't know. They don't know that we don't know. So they're like, you smell that? That's amazing, right? And they're constantly checking in and being like, look at what he's doing. And what happens is, as they get older and we have to get back to work, and then our boss pisses us off, and we're blah, 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 we check out. But the puppy, for a short while, still comes up and says, hey, did you hear? Did you see? Did you smell this? And we're not there anymore. And I think eventually what happens is they stop asking. They stop asking questions. They stop saying, hey, do you want to check this out? They stop saying, hey, did you see, or did you smell, or did you get that? They stop asking because you stopped answering. You weren't paying attention. And so There's so many touch point moments in the day where you can connect with them in the regular daily stuff, the daily boring things that you do throughout the day. Those little touch point moments, those add up. So you don't have to do more. You just have to be more present. You just have to bring yourself out of your head for a moment. And believe it or not, I actually use my dogs for that. Use sounds harsh, doesn't it? But I do, like, I kind of take those moments when I know I've been pulled out, or know when I'm really caught up in my head and my dog comes by, and I know I can always tell, because what will happen is, like, it's almost like they sense it, but Nigel in particular will get up and he'll just come and he'll sit right in front of me and stare at me, and I will be like in my head thinking about something, and I'll look at him and I'll usually say, "Hey buddy," and then my mind goes back to thinking, and then he just sits there, almost like you need to stop thinking about whatever you're thinking about and come back to this. And I'm just like, and I have that, you know what, you're right. And I'll usually grab his head, I'll give him a hug, and then I smell his head. Okay, this is going to get weird, but some of you are smelling your dog's feet, so no judgment. Nigel has a really sweet smelling head. Like, there's something about, he's got like a sweet smell to his head. And I will smell his head, and that sort of just brings me back into this moment. And I'm like, and I'm here and I'm there, you know, like, and I'm really in it. So I will take these moments to just really try to get in it, to just really try to bring myself back to the present. And those moments matter, right? Those moments matter. So here's honestly what you can do today. Here's what you can do today, my friend. Anytime you're starting to think, I know I should be doing more blank, I want you to replace the word more with meaningful. It doesn't have to be more stuff. It just has to be meaningful stuff. I'm just going to, when I take my dog for the walk, even if it's the 10-minute walk because you have a Zoom call, or you got to head back to the office or whatever, if it's a 10-minute walk, be there for the 10 minutes. Go see some stuff. Go see what we're smelling. Just be a part of it. Connect with them at that level. That 10 minutes will be the best 10 minutes of their life if you're a part of it. Right? Choose those moments that you're already doing to be fully present. And it will make those, they add up. They add up. They add up. And then, giving you permission, you're going to let go of that guilt. Let go of that guilt, my friend. Let in curiosity. Let go of that guilt. You got to let go of the guilt. Okay? You're not falling behind. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. And on the days, as Jamie said, on the days where it's too much and whatnot, maybe that day you make yourself a nice cold, I don't know, iced tea, iced coffee, and you sit and you make that your moment with the dog. Just sit down and just be like, we're just going to be together. Notice the dog. Notice the dog's breathing pattern. Notice how sweet they look when they're sleeping. Notice the little noise that their little jowls make when they kind of snort. Like, just be there. Be present. Be in the moment. And make the most of the time that you have. Because you don't have more hours. I don't want you adding things on your to-do list. I want you to just take what you normally do and tweak it just a little bit and make it part of your life. And that's it. That's it. So there you go. There you go, my friend. Do less, be more. That's all you have to do. Do less, be more. That's it. I hope that helps. Listen, if you're not inside the Living Beyond Obedience group talking about what doganality your dog is, I don't even know. Can you even call yourself a dog lover? I mean, come on. Why aren't you in the fear? Why aren't you in the Living Beyond Obedience group? Be there. Come do that. Take the doganality quiz at beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Figure out what your doganality is. Come over to the free Facebook group. Tell us where it is. That's where it all starts. We get together once a month for monthly discussions. It's fun over there. You can ask your questions. You can also, if you have a question you want answered on the podcast, you can head over to beyondobedience.ca contact and leave a voice message. That's new. Just added that. That's fun. You can do that. And hey, if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to share it with your dog-loving friends. Give me a 5-star written review on Apple, because that really helps push the podcast out to more people. And as always, my friend, get out there today and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you're amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.